Why are you called Mama Action?
Why do they call me Mama Action?
You know, it's just like, because for me, I always think of Papa Action, who was this very dodgy character called Yizo, right? But everybody loved him. But for you, it's because you're Mrs. Action. It's like, let's get the work done.
What I'm known of, and what I've put as the Nomvula in me, and then a community activist in me, is to be always where people are, respond to things that affect our people, and most importantly, act as and when it is appropriate to act. Sure. Never be indecisive.
Okay. I agree.
Call it that.
I agree completely. Yep. Yes, never. It doesn't have to be a popular choice.
Doesn't have to be a popular choice, especially when you have availed yourself to serve. You can't be a popular person. You can't be loved by everybody.
Right.
So they are part of you. They must feel your presence, but most importantly, you must also do things with humility and knowing that when you have to be decisive, you lose friends in the course of doing it, but tomorrow they will love you forever.
Now, Premier, you were burgled. Your home was burgled. You've got 24-hour police, not even just the private security company, police.
Uniformed.
If uniformed police, if you get burgled, how the hell are the rest of us going to live?
Absolutely. It was the official residence that was burgled.
Sure.
But never mind that official residence that of now late people said I've spent 2 million on it.
In renovating to make it more feminine.
I wish I could have had that right. In fact, I would have made it to be a Nomvula's house.
Right,
but it's still not Nomvula's house.
Sure.
We had to sort out a house that has been neglected over time because it was not occupied. We had to make sure that it becomes homely. It could host everybody who was there during the World Cup and even now.
Right.
Count how many meetings I hold in restaurants. Sure. That's an official residence. I use it for that.
Right.
The embarrassing thing is what me and you have been exposed to. And I think it's a wake-up call. And a wake-up call to ourselves and our institutions that if we have men and women in uniform who may actually lower the guard against those that are supposed to be first citizens, what about an ordinary Joe Soap? That was an embarrassment, but it is something that I hope the state will be able to deal with it. Remember, there was burglary at former President Thabo Mbeki.
Well, he kind of denied it.
Never mind the Deputy Minister of Police now recently.
Yes, that's right. Right.
But all I'm saying is that what happens to us is a reflection of what is happening to our society. Our people are vulnerable.
We are vulnerable. You know what? And this will be the last crime issue we talk about, but because it's very real for us. You know, it annoys me that I cannot walk in the middle of the night where it is. Are you aware that Joburg is now #1, having dethroned Bogota in Colombia as the #1 place most likely to die by gunpoint?
I'm not aware, but I'm also resisting to accept that, because what we need to do is to say who is comparing who and what are the measures that they are using to look at that. What is a problem in South Africa is the level of violence and harm on individuals. Whether people want to snatch that mug you hold, they will just go and use a firearm and so on and so forth. And it's that we need to deal with, because what is of fundamental importance is that we're coming from an era where there was a serious level of hostility amongst individuals. And we've swiftly moved into an assumption that things are stable. Remember, some of the people that we're dealing with are those kids coming from Kagiso, from Togoza, from Zimhlope, who for days they used to see dead bodies lying there. Remember, we're dealing with a community here where we have a plethora of private security companies, something I've even raised with national government, that Gauteng has got the largest number of private security companies. And when they make projections about profit, surely they can't say we must actually have crime, lesser crime. They say, in the event there is burglary, I will make so many millions. We need to do an introspection. Is it for good of this country or what?
I think it's
even
very
in that very neighborhood where I was burgled, every second minute there is a private security company vehicle passing. Even in those neighborhoods, you have, like I've said, uniformed police. We've had embarrassing stories where people have burgled people under the pretense of them being members of the SAPS. So we must deal with the rot within our law enforcement agencies so that then we can deal with all these problems. I'm saying we find ourselves in this situation of crime because of various various reasons, like I'm saying, remember the level of violence. And we only focused on the truth and reconciliation. We never went through deep briefing of individuals. These are kids who grew up watching dead bodies, live ammunition being used. And these are kids who have unfinished stories.
Sure.
But most importantly, we can't tolerate that, especially if you inflict pain on an individual. There must be action on you, and therefore we need a very credible criminal justice system. You do crime, get arrested, be prosecuted. If you are guilty, do time.